Welcome back to YouTube. This is Joe Rebello, known to many as Kenpo Joe. I'm here again with Mr. Brad Marshall from Nebraska, and we're going over some more of the master key patterns in the techniques of Ed Parker's American Kenpo Karate. Today we're going to talk about two patterns, master key patterns, and two major techniques. And we're going to take a similar idea we did if you watched our triggered salute gripping talent segment, where we talked about the different patterns on the upper part of the universal pattern and on the lower part of the universal pattern. We're going to take our first technique, which is going to be hooking wings, which is against the front two-hand push, and it's a low push. So we're going to take the master key technique. We're going to step back, hook, front snap kick, inward downward diagonal hammer fist, outward downward diagonal back knuckle, vertical upward elbow, drop to a wide kneel, vertical claw. Now again, it's not an overhead inward claw. From this position it drops straight down. Again, you can still construe it as overhead because of the previous position and dropping down. So again, stepping back, hook, and kick, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to take that pattern here on the universal pattern. We see again, inward downward diagonal, outward downward diagonal, upward downward. So basically, a variation on the basic concept we learned in our forms with our blocks: inward, outward, upward, downward. Inward, outward, upward, downward. Now we're going to go into power compulsion. Now this is against it's actually a Danzanru Jiu-Jitsu technique that's done against the push. But we're not going to talk about that right now. We're going to go into the base pattern. So again, person goes to push, I'm just stepping, hey, excuse me, I want to shuffle back a little bit, give ourselves a little bit of room here. And I'm going to pin my hand because he pins me, I pin him. I'm going to drop my height zone, wide kneel, underhand reverse hand sword, outward downward diagonal back knuckle, inward downward diagonal punch or thrust. Guards up, cross and cover up. So again, I pin, downward, upward, outward, inward. Okay, now here's the kicker. In hooking wings, inward, downward, diagonal, raking hammer fist, using the bottom of your fist. That moves into an outward, downward, diagonal back knuckle, using the back of your fist. And moving upward with your elbow, dropping down with the claw. Now, in the next section, my hand is already in the position to utilize power compulsion. My hand rakes down the body, as Mr. Parker would say, nipping the tip. Then coming up with the underhand reverse hand sword to the testicles, then outward downward diagonal back knuckle using the back of my knuckles into an inward downward diagonal punch, thrust punch, using the front of my fist. So, from bottom of fist to back of fist to front of fist. Again, another understanding of the category completion and how to work that off the back knuckles. Now we're going to put it all together. So now, hook, kick, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, cross and cover out. So now the pattern we learn on the top half of the universal pattern, we take it and we, we take it and we flip it. By doing so, now we see the same pattern that we do on the top half of the universal pattern, and at that point, invert it. And I know what you're saying, we gotta hit each other. Okay, so I'm gonna come in. Oh, it's gonna be nice, sorry. Martial arts begins courtesy. Good. He's gonna execute that front two-hand push. I'm gonna hook here, executing that strike. Now, later on, I'm going to show you a great variation I actually saw from a gentleman by the name of Brent Barry from the Eastern Kenpo Karate Society about this. But I'm going to hit here, and we're going to head that way. That now puts him in a position to be struck with the back knuckle. Now, he's so nice, right? Again, from here, 1, 2. No, don't move your head yet. When I turn here, that's going to set up his nose right there. At that point, here's my button and the lever. I then fire up from that point, drop heel on him in the nose again as I rake. That's the key. That's what we call the question mark pattern in Kenpo, where circular moves end, linear moves begin. Let's reverse ankles. So again, when you push, hook, kick, 1, 2, back upon the nose. Immediately come up with the elbow, drop the heel bottom claw on the nose once again, right into the eyes and down. Now, if my hand is here, he pins my hands, I pin his hands, down, up, outward, downward, diagonal, back knuckle, punch to that angle, cross and cover out. That's the key. Now, Mr. Marshall's going to demonstrate it on me. I execute the push, he hooks, kicks, bang, one, pow, up, break, hit, pow. And that puts me in the involuntary split. He's widened my wrist zone, so I now have no structural integrity. I'm off balance. He finished the knee off with a spinning back kick, lights out. The Make-A-Wish Foundation position. You know, we're going to get sued over that one. But I hope you got something out of that. I hope you can see the different master key patterns in that. And now, here's your test question to go home with. What orange belt extension does that exact same pattern with your feet to a downed opponent? Put those in those wonderful comments portions on this video. Until next time, this is Kenpo Joe Rebello with Mr. Brad Marshall from Nebraska. Thank you, sir. Keep training.